Aloha Kapa Ohana, Aloha Kapa Facebook Ohana, Aloha World. We are so fortunate today because we're going to talk story with Hawaii Police Department Sergeant Jeremy Riddle. And he is in Area 1. As we know, as we have come to understand, Hawaii Island is cut into two pieces, Area 1 and Area 2. So you are the traffic enforcement unit from Area 1. Can you kind of tell us where that is?
Yeah, so we cover everything on the east side of the island. And our boundaries are, if you're going north, it's just after Honoka'a, right before you get to South Kohala, the South Kohala boundary. And then it's as far south as Hawaii Volcano National Park, so the Ka'u boundary. And then it's as far west as the old Saddle Road or the Waikiki Ranch. So just after you get, just after PTA. So we cover all that area. That would be considered Area 1.
Okay. Mahalo. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Big area.
Right? We're talking today because I understand there were 2 head-on collisions on the Daniel K. Inouye Highway this past week, and speed was said to be a factor in both collisions. God bless the family. God bless. Are you able to shed some light on how bad the situation is on, they call it DKI, Daniel K. Inouye, Saddle Road? The old school guys call them Saddle Road. Some guys call them Route 200, the tourists that are driving. You know, it shows you Route 200, or what the current issues with speed are.
Yeah, sure. So it's about a 50-mile stretch of highway running across the island. It's our main, cut through to get to the other side of the island. And the speed for the majority of the highway is about 60 miles an hour. The rest of the speeds are anywhere from 55 to 40, and 45 will be 40 is going to be the slowest speed on that roadway. And you get guys traveling across that roadway. Again, they're traveling for work purposes or just traveling to explore the island. And it's a very open road. And so people do travel at high rates of speed. Now, those that are from the mainland may be more used to open roads like that being 75, 80 miles an hour. So they do tend to travel a little faster. However, we do get a lot of guys on that road who are late or trying to make appointments or trying to make dinner reservations. And they feel that because the road is so open and wide that they can travel faster than those speeds. And because of that, we see an increase in speeding citations up there. And we see an increase in the amount of speed that we see up there. With speeds, last year in the first 6 months, we had 313 individuals caught traveling over 80 miles an hour on that road. This year, with our increased enforcement, we've reduced it to about 51 so far in the first 6 months, but that's still 51 people traveling over 80 miles an hour, and that's speeds ranging upwards of 90 to 100 miles an hour. So we really just try to slow people down up there.
Right. And I know sometimes you're going downhill and you gotta go down to your lower gears because you can catch some wind going downhill. And we don't always see officers up there. So, we give them the business. Yeah. But let's be safe, people. We got to be safe. Let's think of our community, and 2 head-on collisions in this time frame. Not good. Not good. Now, you mentioned speeds in excess of 80 miles per hour. They must be driving Mustangs.
No, not all of them. But yeah, no, there's been a lot of speeds up there. I think some of the highest recorded were 120s, 130s, and we're talking about usually souped up muscle cars or vehicles that are just exceeding those speeds and making it very dangerous. So one key thing is that speed, when we talk about speed, a lot of individuals they'll resort to the speed doesn't kill you, and they're correct in a sense, because you can travel in an airplane at hundreds of miles per hour and walk off of the airplane fine, perfectly fine. You didn't get hurt at all, even though you were going hundreds of miles an hour. It's the force that causes the injury. So it's that abrupt stopping force that causes the injury. So one thing to think about is that, as you know, as the force, because when you get into a head-on collision, it's almost like running into a brick wall. So you're going at one speed and then you come to an abrupt stop if you're in a head-on collision. Now, if your speed doubles, the force quadruples. So a 40-mile-per-hour crash is going to have a certain level of force. An 80-mile-per-hour crash is going to have 4 times that force. So 4 times the damage, 4 times the injuries, 4 times the risk of, loss of life. So in putting that into perspective, most of these highway safety collision ratings that these vehicles get, when you see that 5-star gold rating, those are based off of 40-mile-per-hour head-on crashes. So that doesn't include the 60 miles per hour, the 80 miles per hour, the 90-mile-per-hour crashes that we see. So just because your car has a 5-star rating, if that's at 40 miles an hour, you get into an 80-mile-per-hour crash head on, your 5-star rating isn't going to hold. You're not going to be necessarily walking away from that traffic collision.
It sounds like when you drive 80 miles per hour, there's kind of like no chance of surviving a crash.
The risk and the percentage drops drastically. Anything over 43 miles an hour, actually the 43 miles per hour is the national statistic for head-on collisions. So at 43 miles per hour, you statistically, if all things are in your favor with the vehicles being up to date and in working order, you should survive the crash without serious injury. Anything above 43 miles per hour and your risk of serious injury or death just skyrockets.
Wow. What can we do to decrease major traffic collisions on DKI, Route 200, Saddle Road, any place where we have open road and we like go fast? How can we decrease the speed?
Simply slow down, follow the posted speed limits. We just had another accident up on DKI last night, unfortunately. Somebody lost control because the clouds rolled in. It's at high elevation and the roads got slick and they were not traveling the posted speed limit of 60 miles an hour, and they hydroplaned and lost control. So the speed limits, although those roads are open, they're wide open, and you're thinking, hey, this road, I could go faster on this road. You never know when the weather conditions are going to change. We live on an island that for any of the locals or, residents who live here, they should know and understand that the weather can change at an instant. It can be sunny one moment and then it can be wet, rainy monsoon weather the next, especially if you're from Hilo side. So, other than that, it's basically plan your trip, account for traffic delays, leave early. We have so many resources nowadays available to us with like Google Maps and all these navigational applications that you can actually see how long it's going to take you to get to your destination if you just follow the posted speed limit. And just leave a little earlier than that so you arrive early. It's better to arrive alive than in a hospital.
Right. And we tease the kupuna because they leave really early, but they drive slow and they're there in good time. So you might want to borrow the time from the kupuna.
Right.
It's not an hour and a half, it's 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah. So mahalo for all that you do. I know that's a big area for 3 officers, but we just want to remind our community to slow down,
Yes. Yeah.
Because we love you and we care about you and we like you drive slow and arrive alive. It's very important.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for the work you do.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And no worry, I'm not going to tell everybody what kind of car you drive so you can boss them a decal.
I'm sure most of them who travel know already if they've seen me up.
Stay safe, okay? Protect and serve. Sergeant Jeremy Riddle. We appreciate you. Aloha.
Aloha.